If you're in your 50s or 60s and want to retire early, don't miss this episode. Today I'm going to show you 2 annuity strategies that no one can poke holes in. While some advisors dog certain annuity strategies, these are 2 they can't touch. We're going to blow all of the negatives out of the water, and we're going to blow all of the myths out of the water. By the end of this video, you're going to see the power of annuities and why they should have a seat at the table when it comes to your retirement portfolio. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Rich Strell with Protection USA, and I've been helping people retire stronger since 2007. Listen to what Susie Orman, financial author, had to say about annuities. Annuities can be a great way to generate a guaranteed stream of income in retirement. Dave Ramsey, financial author and radio show host, he too had something to say about annuities. Annuities can be a good way to protect your principal and provide a guaranteed income stream. I wonder if one day they're going to be like, well, Rich Strell from Protection USA, listen to what he had to say about annuities. I'm probably not quite there with Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman just yet, but stick with me. We're headed there. Let's dive right in. Let's talk about some of the myths and rumors about annuities. Really, they're stereotypes. For example, someone may say, annuities are expensive. Well, today I'm going to show you one annuity that's very inexpensive and another one that's completely free. Another myth out there is annuities have ceilings and caps and can't make much money when the market does really well. We're going to blow that myth out of the water because both of the strategies, both of them, that I'm going to show you today have unlimited growth potential. The sky is the limit, baby. First, what is an annuity? It's a product you purchase from an insurance company or a financial institution. They can be funded with cash or a rollover from like a 401k or IRA. Strategy number 1. The first strategy I want to share with you is squeaky clean and by far the easiest to understand. As long as you have $10,000 or more to contribute to this annuity, remember that's cash or a rollover, you can capitalize on this annuity that showcases these benefits. Number 1, no fees. You pay no fees, literally none, on this type of annuity, not to the person who sets it up for you, not to the financial institution or insurance company, wherever you place it. It's kind of like a bank account. You know, you can put your money there at your bank in a checking account or savings account, and they don't charge you anything for keeping it there. Number 2, impressive historical performance. This particular annuity has blown the S&P 500 out of the water from a performance standpoint over the last 30 years running. It has had an average annual return of compound interest of over 13% for the last 30 years. Number 3, 100% principal protection. Regardless of what's going on in the stock market, regardless of what's going on in the world, you'll never lose a penny, not a penny, in this particular annuity. It's guaranteed to never dip below the amount you contribute in the beginning and the growth that accumulates each year. Let's make sure we understand. If you have, for example, $100,000 in this particular annuity, remember, the minimum is only $10,000, but if you had $100,000 in this annuity and it grew to, let's say, $113,000 by the end of that first year, that's your new floor. You'll never go below that. You'll always now have that $113,000 plus all future growth, which again has averaged over 13%. This annuity, by the way, is available throughout the entire country, with the exception of New York. So to recap this first strategy, before we dive into the second one, which is even more impressive, so stick with me. No fees, projected 13% annual compound interest based on historical performance, 100% principal protection, and your gains are locked in annually. And now if you think that's impressive, let's dive into strategy number 2. Now, strategy number 2 requires a minimum contribution, cash or rollover, of $25,000. One thing to keep in mind, when I keep saying rollover from your 401k, that's assuming your employer will allow you to make that rollover. Most employers don't allow you to do this while you're still gainfully employed there. However, if you worked somewhere else, for example, and had a 401k there, got a new job, you now still have that old 401k, you have access to that money and can roll it over. This is true even if you rolled it into the plan of the employer you currently work for. If it came from somewhere else and you rolled it in, you have access to that money. This annuity is a powerful strategy for someone who wants to build a pension plan with lifetime income payments. The first strategy we talked about builds up money and you take it out as you see fit. This strategy is more like building a pension plan for yourself. At whatever point, when you decide, you can almost turn on a faucet. Picture that faucet, squeak, 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 and instead of water coming out, it's just money. And money comes out to you nonstop, guaranteed every year for the rest of your life. We can even design this one to pay your spouse for the rest of their life. For example, if you passed away before they did, they'd also keep getting the payments. A question that I often get with this type of annuity is, yeah, Rich, but what if I died kind of early into it? Maybe you've got $1 million in there, you've only collected, let's just say, $50,000, and then you passed away. What happens with the rest of my money then in that type of scenario? The answer is this: if it's not automatically set up like the one model we talked about where it'll pay your spouse for the rest of their life, then they or whoever you designated your beneficiary, spouse, kids, charity, whatever you think, they will get a check, a lump sum distribution from the annuity. So if there's like $900,000 left in there that you didn't collect, they'll get a check for that amount. What's cool is you don't need a trust or a judge or anybody to say, okay, this is the money that's going to your kids or wife or whatever. It just happens. A death certificate goes to the financial institution, they write a check to your beneficiary. It's that easy. A powerful feature that comes with this annuity right off the bat on day one when you drop money into it is a 20% bonus. For example, if you drop $100,000 in there, your very first monthly statement is going to reflect that on day one, your balance was $120,000 and growing. Now stick with me on this one because this one just keeps getting better. Not only do you get that 20% bonus on day one, it's guaranteed to grow by at least, keyword at least, it could be more, at least 8% for the first 10 years or until you turn on your faucet of lifetime income. You could drop $1 million in this type of an annuity and it's immediately worth $1.2 million and then guaranteed to grow at 8% every year for the first 10 years. An important point to note here is the 20% bonus and the 8% guaranteed growth is going towards the number that they're going to pay you for the rest of your life. It's not where you can put in $1 million and then immediately pull out $1.2 million and go buy a yacht. It doesn't work that way. Back to the 8% growth for a minute. Remember I said at least 8%. It could be more. In fact, it's averaged over 11% real performance over the past 12 years running. So if, for example, the returns actually are, after you get into this annuity, let's say they are 10 or 11% each year, then you get that. But if they happen to be only 4 or 5, that's where the 8% guarantee comes in. You'd get the 8 in that case. There is a 1.1% fee for this particular annuity. The first one, remember, had no fee at all. This one does have a very low 1.1% annual fee. So let's recap. This annuity offers lifetime income. It comes with a 20% bonus on day one and a guaranteed 8% or better growth for at least the first 10 years. It has a 1.1% fee based on the balance of the annuity, and it has a minimum contribution, in other words, get started amount of $25,000. So now you're probably asking, well, what's the catch, Rich? What are the negatives here? Why these annuities are no fees for the first one, very low fees for the second one, it's because they want your time commitment. They're basically saying, hey, if you'll stick with us for a period of time, we can give you some pretty powerful benefits along the way, including right up front, and powerful growth over time. But they want you to stick with them for a period of time. So what does this mean? Well, in strategy 1, that period of time can be as low as 5 years. Now, they'll still allow you to pull out money each year up to 10% of the value without any penalty. If you pull out more than that 10%, there's typically a penalty, keeping in mind the penalty is usually less than the growth anyway, but there is a small penalty for taking money beyond that 10%. After the 5 years in that particular strategy, you can transfer the whole thing right to your personal banking account and use the whole thing. You can then go buy a yacht if you want. You can use it for whatever you want, no strings attached. And in strategy number 2, there's a 9-year commitment where you can pull out up to 7% each year out of your annuity with no penalty. Now, if you're looking to retire sooner than 9 years, don't worry. That has nothing to do with you turning on that faucet and receiving your lifetime income. That you can do in year 1 if you want. Usually once people understand these, they get so excited about them and want to put large amounts of money in them. It's still important to maintain a well-balanced portfolio. You gotta have a savings account. You should still have money invested in the stock market. Some people go further and they have investments in real estate or precious metals, the list goes on, and that's fine. A good balance of annuities in a portfolio is typically somewhere between 40 and 60%, never to exceed 70%. Having an annuity protecting your hard-earned dollars with a history of outperforming the stock market is an amazing benefit. An important point to remember is it also gives you the ability to not have to get so flippin' conservative with your money just because you're older and in retirement or near retirement. Oftentimes, people in their 50s or 60s shift to a conservative stance because they're fearful of a potential down market. Annuities take this fear completely off the table. If you'd like to learn more or want to see an illustration with your name and dollar amount on it, visit our website to set up a call. Thank you for watching, and until next time, may God bless you.